The Awakening Storm. The asteroid belt of Ta Siti shimmered with the reflected light of a distant sun as Captain Maya Chen guided her ship through the jagged field of space debris. The HSS Tempest moved with impossible grace for a vessel of its size, nearly 2 kilometers of gleaming titanium obsidian composite, it tall drinking in starlight rather than reflecting it. Proximity alert, Captain. Lieutenant Cade Walker announced from his station. We're approaching the designated coordinates. Maya nodded, her dark eyes fixed on the main view screen. After 15 years in the Earth fleet, she had thought nothing could surprise her anymore. The revelation of alien life 6 months ago had proven her wrong. The discovery that these aliens, the Krell Dominion, had been watching humanity for decades had been even more unsettling. Status of the diplomatic shuttle? She asked, her voice calm despite the tension coiling in her stomach. Communications Officer Ilara Jones tapped her console. Ambassador Reyes reports they're docking with the Krell vessel now. First contact protocols initiated. Maya rose from her command chair, stretching muscles tight from hours of inactivity. The Tempest was officially an escort vessel, assigned to protect Earth's diplomatic mission. Unofficially, it was humanity's most advanced warship, equipped with technologies that had never been field-tested. Technologies that Maya herself didn't fully understand. "I don't like this," Walker muttered, voicing the concern that had been growing among the crew. The Krell could have made contact anywhere in our system. Why insist on meeting at the edge of explored space? Politics, Maya replied, though she shared his unease. Earth government wants to keep this quiet until we understand their intentions. A quiet alert chimed from the communications station. "Captain," Jones called, her voice tight. "I'm picking up unusual energy signatures from the Krell vessel." Before Maya could respond, the main view screen flared with blinding light. When it cleared, the Krell diplomatic ship was gone, and with it, the human shuttle carrying Ambassador Reyes and 12 of Earth's finest diplomats and scientists. What just happened? Maya demanded, already rushing back to her chair. Replay sensor logs. The bridge erupted in controlled chaos as officers reported from their stations, voices overlapping in urgent bursts of information. Massive energy discharge. No debris field. Quantum signatures consistent with. "They're gone," Walker interrupted, his face pale. "The Krell ship, it fired on our shuttle. Vaporized it completely." Maya stared at the empty space where 13 humans had vanished in an instant, her mind racing through tactical options. This wasn't a misunderstanding or a technical malfunction. This was an act of war. Multiple contacts emerging from beyond the asteroid belt, the tactical officer shouted. "Krell vessels, hundreds of them." "They were waiting, Captain." On the view screen, a swarm of alien ships appeared, their sleek, chitinous forms resembling massive insects. They moved with perfect coordination, spreading out to surround the Tempest. They knew, Maya whispered, the truth dawning with terrible clarity. This wasn't first contact. This was a trap. Her decision came with the cold certainty of inevitability. 13 lives had already been lost. If the Tempest fell, billions more would follow. "Battle stations," she ordered, her voice cutting through the chaos. "Initiate Prometheus protocol." Walker's head snapped up. "Captain, Prometheus is untested, and likely to remain that way if we're dead," Maya replied. "Do it." Deep within the Tempest, systems that had remained dormant since the ship's construction awakened. A soft blue glow emanated from recessed panels throughout the bridge as the quantum core came online. "Prometheus protocol initiated," the ship's AI announced in its neutral voice. "Quantum resonance field establishing. Warning, field stability at 78% of theoretical parameters. It'll have to be enough," Maya said, taking her seat. "Set course for Proxima Centauri colony. Maximum speed." The Tempest shuddered as its enhanced drive engaged, tearing a hole in conventional space. Behind them, the Krell fleet accelerated in pursuit, but they were already too late. 3 days later, Maya stood before the smoking ruins of what had once been humanity's most distant colony, Proxima Centauri, home to 30,000 settlers, reduced to ash and rubble by Krell weapons. No survivors, Walker reported, his voice hollow as he returned from the ground survey. They hit this place hard, Captain. Methodical. This wasn't random destruction. They were searching for something. Maya nodded, grief hardening into resolve. Since their escape from Ta City, the Tempest had been monitoring communications across human space. The news was universally grim. Krell forces had struck simultaneously at every human outpost, decimating Earth's meager defenses. Only the Tempest remained undetected, protected by its experimental stealth systems and quantum distortion field. They think they know what humans are capable of, Maya said quietly. They're about to learn how wrong they are. 2 days later, the Tempest hung silently above Europa, Jupiter's ice-covered moon. Below, hidden beneath kilometers of frozen water, humanity's last intact research facility continued its work, unaware of the destruction that had befallen their species. The Krell fleet is approaching Jupiter, Walker reported. 17 ships, heavily armed. They'll detect the base soon. Maya studied the tactical display. With conventional weapons, the Tempest could perhaps destroy 3 or 4 Krell vessels before being overwhelmed. But the ship hadn't been built for conventional combat. Initiate Prometheus field extension, she ordered. Target the lead Krell vessel only. Field extension active, the AI confirmed. Target locked. Fire. No visible beam or projectile emerged from the Tempest. Instead, a ripple seemed to distort space itself between the human warship and the lead Krell vessel. For a moment, nothing happened. Then, silently, the alien ship began to come apart at the molecular level, its structure unraveling from within as the quantum field disrupted the fundamental forces holding matter together. In less than 30 seconds, where a Krell warship had been, only dispersing atoms remained. The remaining Krell vessels froze in their advance, clearly stunned by the fate of their lead ship. Broadcast on all frequencies, Maya ordered, in their language. When the channel opened, she stepped forward, her expression grim. This is Captain Maya Chen of the Earth vessel Tempest. You have committed acts of war against humanity. Withdraw immediately from this system, or face annihilation. The Krell response came as another wave of ships emerging from faster-than-light travel, not 17 vessels now, but over 100. Maya smiled without humor. They really don't understand who they're dealing with. The battle above Europa lasted less than 20 minutes. When it ended, the Tempest drifted alone among the molecular debris of what had been the pride of the Krell fleet. Inside the ship, engineers worked frantically to stabilize the quantum core, which pulsed erratically after such extended use. Prometheus system stability at 42%, the AI warned. Continued operation risks catastrophic field collapse. Maya nodded, acknowledging the risk. The Tempest's ultimate weapon exacted a terrible price, straining the fabric of reality itself. But the alternative was extinction. Send the signal to Earth, she ordered. All frequencies, maximum power. Let them know we're still fighting. As the message transmitted across the vast distance to humanity's homeworld, Maya studied the star charts on her private terminal. The Krell had struck without warning or mercy, believing their technological superiority assured victory. They hadn't counted on Prometheus. They hadn't counted on human ingenuity born of desperation. Most importantly, they hadn't counted on Maya Chen and the crew of the Tempest. Plot a course for the Krell homeworld, she said quietly. It's time they understood exactly what they've awakened. Thunder across the stars. The HSS Tempest drifted silently through the outer reaches of the Krell home system, its hull absorbing the faint light from the red dwarf star at the system's center. After 3 weeks of hit-and-run attacks against Krell outposts, Captain Maya Chen had pushed her ship and crew to their limits, and perhaps beyond. Status of the quantum core? Maya asked, her voice betraying none of the exhaustion that pulled at her limbs. Chief Engineer Sato glanced up from her terminal, dark circles under her eyes. Stable, but degrading. The last engagement strained the containment fields. I've reinforced them, but she shook her head. We're running out of miracles, Captain. Maya nodded, absorbing the information without visible reaction. Since that first devastating battle at Europa, the Tempest had struck Krell forces across 5 star systems, disabling or destroying over 70 enemy vessels. Each victory came at a cost, not just to the ship's systems, but to the fabric of space-time itself. The Prometheus device was never meant to be used this way, Dr. Elias Harper reminded her, his voice low enough that only she could hear. As the physicist responsible for the quantum resonance technology, he understood its dangers better than anyone. The ripple effects are cumulative. We're seeing evidence of micro-tears in localized space-time after each engagement. Do we have a choice? Maya asked, equally quiet. Harper's gaze fell. They both knew the answer. Earth's defenses lay in ruins. The Krell assault had been devastating and methodical, targeting military installations with precision. Only the Tempest stood between humanity and extinction. Contact. Lieutenant Walker called from the tactical station. Multiple Krell signatures approaching from the inner system. Maya straightened in her command chair. How many? Walker's face paled as he studied his readings. Hundreds, Captain. Maybe thousands. They'd gathered their entire fleet. The main view screen shifted to display the approaching armada, a vast cloud of Krell warships moving in perfect formation toward the Tempest's position. They'd been waiting for us, Maya realized, drawing us deeper into their territory. Communications Officer Jones turned from her station. We're receiving a transmission, Captain. It's on all frequencies. On screen, Maya ordered. The view screen flickered, and a Krell commander appeared. Unlike the other Krell they had encountered, this one's chidness exoskeleton was adorned with intricate metal inlays that gleamed in the dim light of its bridge. 6 compound eyes reflected the image of the Tempest's bridge crew. Human vessel, the Krell commander said, its words translated by the ship's computer. I am Supreme Commander Vexthul of the Krell Dominion. Your attacks against our forces have been impressive, but futile. Maya stood, facing the alien with steady resolve. This is Captain Chen of the HSS Tempest. Your unprovoked assault on our diplomatic mission and colonies constitutes an act of war. Withdraw your forces from human space, or we will continue to defend ourselves. The Krell commander made a clicking sound that the translator didn't interpret. Your single vessel, however formidable, now faces the combined might of the Krell Dominion. Surrender, and your crew will be treated according to the ancient codes of warfare. Resist, and you will be destroyed. On the tactical display, the sphere of Krell ships continued to tighten around the Tempest, cutting off all escape routes. Maya cut the transmission with a gesture and turned to her bridge crew. Options. We could attempt to break through their formation using conventional drives, Walker suggested. The Prometheus field would clear a path. Dr. Harper shook his head. The quantum core is already unstable. One more standard deployment could trigger a cascade failure. A heavy silence fell over the bridge as the reality of their situation sank in. They had fought brilliantly, buying Earth precious time to rebuild its defenses, but now they were trapped. Maya's gaze fell on the quantum core readouts, its blue light pulsing unevenly. An idea formed, desperate, possibly suicidal, but not without precedent. Dr. Harper, she said slowly, what would happen if we inverted the Prometheus field? Harper stared at her, understanding dawning in his eyes. Instead of projecting the quantum disruption outward, we create a quantum bubble around the Tempest itself, Maya finished. Could it work? The physicist ran his fingers through his gray hair. Theoretically, yes. The inverted field would create a localized pocket of altered physics. We could potentially phase out of normal space-time entirely. And take the Krell fleet with us. Maya pressed. If we amplified the field radius sufficiently. Harper hesitated. Yes, but Captain, the strain on the core would be catastrophic. There would be no returning from such a maneuver. Maya looked around the bridge, meeting the eyes of each officer in turn. They had all volunteered for this mission, knowing the risks. Each face showed the same determination that burned within her. "The Krell attacked us without provocation," she said quietly. "They believed our diplomatic overture was a sign of weakness. They thought they understood what humans were capable of." A thin smile crossed her face. "Let's show them how wrong they were." The plan came together with the efficiency of a crew who had fought together against impossible odds. Engineering teams reconfigured the quantum core, while tactical officers calculated the precise position that would catch the maximum number of Krell ships in the inverted field. As preparations neared completion, Maya recorded a final message to be transmitted to Earth on a delayed signal. "This is Captain Maya Chen of the HSS Tempest," she began, her voice steady despite the weight of what was to come. "By the time you receive this, we will have engaged the Krell fleet in their home system. The quantum resonance technology has proven more powerful than we could have imagined, but its use comes at a terrible cost." She paused, choosing her next words carefully. "What we do now, we do not only for Earth, but for all humanity. The Krell must understand that we will not fall easily, that for every human life they take, the price will be beyond calculation." Hours later, as the Krell armada closed in around the Tempest, Maya gave the final order. "Initiate quantum field inversion," she commanded. "Maximum radius." The ship shuddered as the Prometheus core began to pulse with blinding intensity. On the tactical display, the nearest Krell vessels registered confusion, their formations faltering as their sensors detected the building quantum disturbance. "Field stability at 30% and falling," Harper reported, his voice tight with tension. "Radius expanding as planned." The view screen showed space itself beginning to warp around the Tempest, stars stretching and twisting as fundamental forces rewrote themselves. Krell ships caught in the expanding field began to break apart, not from violent explosion, but from the elegant dissolution of matter returning to its constituent particles. "They're transmitting," Jones called over the growing vibration that ran through the ship. They're offering surrender." Maya's grip tightened on the arms of her command chair. "Too late," she whispered. "Field status critical," Harper answered as warning alarms blared across the bridge. "Containment failing. Quantum cascade imminent." Maya closed her eyes briefly, remembering the colony at Proxima Centauri, the diplomatic mission that had been obliterated without warning. When she opened them again, her resolve was absolute. "Take us into the heart of their fleet," she ordered. "Full power to the quantum core." As the Tempest surged forward, the inverted Prometheus field expanding around it like a soap bubble of altered reality, Maya thought she saw a strange beauty in the way space folded and unfolded around them. The Krell ships caught in the effect didn't explode. They simply ceased to exist in conventional reality, their matter and energy transitioning to some other state of being. "Quantum cascade in 3, 2, Harper's voice faded as the bridge lights flickered and died, replaced by the overwhelming blue glow of the core. In her final moment of awareness, Maya felt not fear, but a profound sense of completion. The Tempest had done what it was built to do. Earth would survive. Across thousands of kilometers of space, reality itself tore open as the Prometheus field reached critical mass. The resulting quantum event wasn't an explosion in any conventional sense. It was the temporary suspension of the laws of physics in a bubble of space 20,000 kilometers in diameter. When it ended, neither the Tempest nor the Krell fleet remained. Where they had been, a shimmering distortion hung in space, a wound in reality that would take centuries to heal. The message from Captain Chen reached Earth 3 weeks later, transmitted through quantum entanglement channels that had survived the cataclysm. Along with it came the complete technical specifications of the Prometheus system and detailed scans of every Krell vessel the Tempest had encountered. In the shipyards of Mars, construction began on a new class of vessels. Not one ship this time, but a fleet. Humanity had learned the price of unpreparedness. They would not make the same mistake twice. And somewhere, In a realm beyond conventional spacetime, the quantum signature of the HS Tempest continued to resonate, an echo of human defiance that would never truly fade.